Around Town is a fun group game and you don't need much material, just kids need paper, pencil, and you need a timer. So basically, kids are going to be in groups and they're going to be naming off as many circular, round, cylindrical, spherical objects as they can. And then once the papers are all gathered up, they're going to be marking off, you actually as the teacher are going to be marking off all of the items that are identical. I would do teams of 4 or 5. Anything bigger than that, it gets crazy and then there's nobody actually doing what they need to be doing. Each team needs one recorder to write down their brainstorming down. The teacher starts a 60-second timer. Then the teams list, so I'm like 3, 2, 1, go, and the teams start listing items that are circular, cylindrical, or spherical. After the 60 seconds goes off, I gave my students 5 seconds to get their team's paper up to me, or they would be disqualified. And then I lay the papers out, and I cross off all of the items that are identical, and I also decide if the item fits the criteria of being round or circular or spherical or cylindrical. And that really is up to you. So you might say, if they said a pencil, well, I would have them be more specific because not all pencils are cylindrical. Some of them are hexagonal shaped. So maybe they have to say a round pencil or my blue pencil or something like that would have to be a little more specific. And then whichever team has the most remaining items wins. Here are a few tips to make the game go a little bit smoother. Before you start the game, discuss what circular means. Is the moon circular? Is the earth circular? Is there anything that is actually tangible that is a 100% true circle? The answer to that is no, because physical things have imperfections. So a circle is actually just a mathematical concept. Discussing what things are actually circular or like a circle helps them to start to think about those sorts of things. Like, ooh, chapstick, that's cylindrical. But as I said earlier, not all pencils are. Some of them are, but not all pencils are. So having that discussion helps them to start thinking. Also discuss things about like whispering and the benefits of not giving away your answers when you're working in a group. So if you hear one group over here saying oranges and apples or planets and stars, then, you know, if you write those down too, they automatically cancel both papers out. To judge, after doing this for years, I got a good system of making the judging go pretty fast. I'd laid all the papers out on a table in front of me. The kids were at their desks, but they were listening. I would pick up one team's paper and I would read off the items. And so if I read the top item, basketball, I'd go through and look for basketball on the other lists. Now, if somebody just said a ball, you'll have to decide if that's going to knock out basketball and volleyball and all the other balls, different types of balls, or if you're going to leave them all stand because they're more specific. That's a teacher rule. It's up to you. And then once I read the first one, I'd read the next one. If the next one was unique, I'd circle it. And then the next one and the next one. And all of the ones that were on more than one paper got marked out on all papers. But then I'd go through to the next paper and I'd read the ones that hadn't been marked out yet and check those on the other papers. And all the way through until every item on every list had been either marked out or read aloud. Then I would write on the papers the ones that still remained. And that's how many points they got. Sometimes papers got everything marked off and so they got a 0. But those teams also knocked a whole bunch of things off of other people's papers. And so that's kind of the idea. So you might play it twice. Once just to get the feel for it, and then again to start discussing about, oh, the strategy of naming all the common round objects could be good because you knock all the common round objects off of other people's paper. Or if people are trying to be super unique, they might not think about the common round objects. But then if people mark off all the common round objects, you need to have something that stands and that remains. So maybe saying things like, oh, the rim of my bottle. That's pretty specific. So it's not just my water bottle, but the rim of my water bottle. That's a pretty specific part, and it is a circle. So I would allow those things to be 2 separate items. Around Town is literally a game that takes a minute, well, plus the judging. So probably 10 minutes to do. Super fun, very team building. I'd often mix up the teams and see what happens. So great way though to discuss circles and roundness and mathematical concepts of circles. and a great way to have fun in your math class. I'll see you in the next video.